All right, let's dive into something pretty huge. We're going to tackle this one single question that, honestly, gets to the very core of our existence. We're about to go on a journey that traces our own story, but backwards, starting from this very moment and going all the way back to the beginning of, well, everything. So, seriously, take a second and think about it. When did you actually begin? Was it the day you were born? Was it at conception? Or is it possible the answer is way, way older and just so much grander than you've ever imagined? So the inspiration for this whole explainer comes from this really fascinating article from back in 2012. It was written by Dr. Hasan Raza, a professor of medical biochemistry. So, he's a medical doctor, a scientist, but clearly also a super curious mind asking these massive questions that connect all of us. And what's cool is his original article is still up online if you want to go read it for yourself.
What Dr. Raza lays out is basically a thought experiment. It's this journey that just uses logic and what we know about science to hit rewind on time. And this is a really important point. This whole idea is deliberately outside the box of any specific religion or belief system. It's all about following a chain of scientific deduction and just seeing how far back it can possibly take us.
Okay, so let's start this rewind. We're going to begin with something we all know really, really well, a single human life, and just trace it backwards, step by step.
So Dr. Raza calls our time out here, living in the world, stage 2. Simple enough. Before that, obviously we were in stage 1. That's our time in our mother's womb. And before that, he calls it stage 0, when we existed as component parts inside our mother and father. And this is where this amazing loop starts. Because, of course, they were also in stage 1, and so were their parents, and their parents' parents. You get the idea. It's this incredible, unbroken ancestral chain that just stretches back through time.
And now we're going to take a giant leap. We're going to follow that chain beyond just human history. We're zooming out, shifting from the scale of biology to the scale of the entire cosmos.
So if you follow that ancestral loop far enough back, you eventually get to the very first living thing on Earth. And what do we know about that creature? Science tells us it was made of elements found right here, in the Earth itself. And the Earth? It was formed right along with our solar system. And our solar system? It came from these huge clouds of energy inside our galaxy. And of course, all the galaxies trace their origin back to one single massive event, the Big Bang.
So we've made it. We've traced ourselves all the way back to the beginning of matter, space, and time as we understand them. But does the journey have to stop there? This is where Dr. Raza asks the ultimate question.
I mean, think about it. If everything that we know, everything that we are, came from the Big Bang, then what came before it? What was the source of the event that created literally everything?
And this is Dr. Raza's incredible hypothesis. He suggests that before the universe, there was this intelligent, non-physical energy, an energy that couldn't be limited by space or time because, space and time hadn't even been created yet. He even argues it had to be intelligent to have designed such a complex and perfectly organized event like our universe. And here's where this philosophical idea connects right into hard science. I mean, look at Einstein's famous equation, maybe the most famous equation of all time, E equals mc squared. What does it tell us? It says that matter, the very stuff that makes up galaxies, planets, and you, is at its core just a super condensed form of energy.
Okay, so let's bring it all back home. We've traced our origins all the way back to this pre-universal energy. Now let's see how this idea helps explain our present reality and maybe even our future.
So, according to Dr. Raza, if the creation of the universe was the first miracle, then the human brain is the second. He theorizes that our brain is this incredibly sophisticated receptor, also formed from that same primordial energy. And its job? Its job is to receive and interpret all the energy signals flying around us. Light, sound, everything, and translate it into what we experience as the present. Our consciousness is basically our brain interpreting the universe in real time.
This brings up a huge question, right? If we existed as energy before, or even just in the womb, why can't we remember it? Dr. Raza uses this absolutely wonderful analogy. He says our receiving system was different. Think of it like a computer. In the womb, our brain was running on an old operating system, something like DOS, super basic. But now it's running a modern OS. The hardware is the same, but the software creating your conscious experience is totally different. That's why we just can't access those earlier states.
And this, of course, brings us to the future. In this way of looking at things, death isn't some final end. It's just a transition.
The matter that makes up our bodies, which, remember, was always just condensed energy anyway, simply disintegrates. It dissipates, returning to that huge, universal pool of cosmic energy that it came from in the first place.
And so we end right back where we started, with a question. If this cycle is actually true, if every single one of us is just a temporary manifestation of this timeless, recycled energy, then what does that mean for what comes next? Dr. Raza leaves us to wonder about a next cosmological cycle of life, leaving that loop wide open for us to think about. So, what do you think that could be?